Hey, so I want to start this video because my last channel was a little bit sad and depressing, I guess, for most people. So I want to start this channel off right because I want to talk about something that's really, really incredible and important to me. And I figure like now is the best time to have this conversation. Like maybe it might light up some people, or maybe it might I don't know, maybe like some people out there will realize a little bit more about me. Um, so I'm 32 years old, but I was adopted from an orphanage. I grew up in Russia. I grew up from basically until I was like from the moment that I was born until I was 9 and a half. I basically got adopted in 2000 of September. And let's just say it was nothing like I thought it was going to be, because a lot of people think that adoption is like this like easy process. It wasn't. It was probably one of like the most horrifying experiences of my life. But I can also backtrack and tell you guys a little bit about my history. I did grow up in an orphanage. I lived in the orphanage from 3 until I was 9 and a half. My mother's parents, my grandparents at the time, essentially kind of dropped me off at a train station, and it was kind of like, hey, you're here and you're gonna wind up in an orphanage, so get ready for that. And yeah, so as a 3-year-old, I wound up in a hospital instead because I kind of got attacked by an animal. So I got off the train by accident, waddled off, and got attacked. Spent about quite a few months in the hospital. And shortly after, I wound up in an orphanage in Safonovo, Russia, which is a very, very, very small town. They have a very, very beautiful orphanage. And then at 9 and a half, I got adopted by an American woman who I don't believe in my right mind was ready to have a child. Um, but I will say this though, that in the end at 14 and a half, I got the best mom in the world. But I understand that I'm kind of like skipping over a lot of stuff and a lot of stories and stuff like that. So I will say this though, I will absolutely go into more details about my orphanage, and I will absolutely go into more details about my adoption story, as well as what happens when you're in foster care for a little while, and as well as what happens after you get adopted, and then after you become a teenager in high school, and essentially going through a lot of the heartaches and the pain. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm yawning. I think it's because this topic is great and it's one of my favorite topics, but I think I've like talked about it for at least 15, 16 years of my life. So sometimes it's just like same old. But I understand that here on YouTube, this is all brand new, and I want to talk a little bit about adoption and how sometimes people get treated when they get adopted. Also, what happens when you grow up in a Russian orphanage, isolated in the middle of nowhere. Also, what happens when you go through the foster care system, about all the benefits and all the ups and downs that you can go through it. And yeah, so I think I'm going to start this journey a little bit different than my anxiety posts and my post on anxiety and how sad and depressing it is sometimes to feel like you are falling apart. But I'm going to tell you the real story of my history, and some of the events and some of the things might seem a little bit unreal, but I just want you to know that I made it. I'm still working on myself every single day. Yes, the stuff is going to get a little bit depressing, and some of the stories are going to seem a little bit unreal, but they are all 100% true, and they 100% happened to me. So yeah, so if you've ever been adopted, if you've ever been in foster care, or if you ever came out of a Russian orphanage, or if you ever have any type of questions, I have a lot of answers and a lot of things you can reach out to me about. But for right now, I think my YouTube channel is gonna, not my YouTube channel, but my YouTube stories are gonna take a little bit of a different direction. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, stick around because you will probably be a little bit shocked. But excuse me. I think it will be okay because, you know, some people just really make it out and some people don't. And it's always a hard thing for me when they don't, because I'm fully aware of the fact how lucky I am to have the mother that I am, to have the life that I have. And, you know, I have pictures and stories and everything, and it's all wonderful. But like I said, some things were a little bit rough and some things were like an up and a down cycle, and I'm still trying to figure things out. So stick around, and I hope that you enjoy my stories, and I hope that this literally helps somebody out there, because um, I went through it and I've experienced it, and I hope it helps you. All right, bye guys.